All right. Hello, Trek Central fans. Hello there, Mike here, joined tonight by Levi, Commodore Levi.
Indeed.
Good, not accidentally still muted. That's good. How's everyone doing? How y'all doing? Hello, it's our first live stream in a little while. I think the last one we did was the San Diego Comic-Con, right? Yes. Okay, so chat. This is a spoiler alert. This is what I'm wearing to MCM Comic Con next weekend, where Trek Central, a lot of us are going to be there. So we hope that we're going to see you there. We've got the panel, I think, at the 11 o'clock on the Saturday. So come join us, talk Trek with us, talk sci-fi with us. And then we've got a Trek Central event in the evening. So make sure that you check out the Trek Central Twitter, all the details for that. And I believe they're probably on trekcentral.net as well. But, you know, big shout outs. Make sure tonight to super chat your questions, super chat your thoughts on what you expect to hear at New York Comic Con, just what you want to see in Trek in general. Absolutely feel free to super chat us as much as you like. It'll all be good. And join as a member down below. Members get exclusive Trek Central emotes. Lovely. So, right. So tonight we are breaking down any of the news that comes out of New York Comic Con. What we know that is going on over there is a Lower Decks panel, a Section 31 movie panel, and then there's a plus more with lots of question marks teased. Now we have no idea what that means. So we hope that it's a huge announcement. Fingers crossed, Star Trek Legacy. We'd love that, definitely. But yeah, there's going to be kind of exciting reveals, surprises for the fans in the audience. But of course, we are kind of outside of that. So we're breaking down the news that comes outside of that. We've already seen a clip of Lower Decks on Screen Rant for the new season. We'll be running through kind of what we've watched in that clip as well. And yeah, we'll just be sharing anything that comes out of the panel. So yeah, Levi, just give me a shout if anything comes up live, because I will need to keep the view on Discord now. Otherwise, you'll just be a big black box. But yeah, so right, I just need to pop chat out so I can see that. But yeah, so the final season of Lower Decks begins on the 24th, which is Thursday. Is that Thursday? Yeah, that's Thursday. I'm very sad. Lower Decks is my favorite Star Trek of quite a long time. So I'm very sad that it's coming to an end. Levi, what's your favorite Star Trek? What are you expecting, or what do you want to hear out of New York Comic Con?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm just, I think I'm looking forward most to anything from Strange New Worlds or, you know, anything from Lower Decks, obviously. I mean, that's definitely one of my favorites.
Strange New Worlds is great. And we know that they've been renewed for season 4 already. So we've got season 3 upcoming next year. I think they've said next year. So yeah, fingers crossed, that's great. Right, let me just have a look at the chat. Hi, Mivy. Yeah, let me just say hello to everybody. So first of all, I'm very sad that Lower Decks didn't get more votes in the poll. But 21% is still pretty good. Still pretty good. But Botrek, hello. Don Seagrave, welcome. Tim, Cerulean Blue, hello. Jarvis, my beloved Jarvis. I'm so happy to see you next week. So yeah, I kind of Jarvis would usually be what I call my YouTube wife. Tonight, Levi is my YouTube wife, because Jarvis is unable to join us on stream. But yeah, Jarvis and I will be together at MCM Comic Con next week. So anybody in chat going to MCM? Are we going to see you there? Hello, Ivy, Cubby, welcome in. Peter, hello. Supernatural, welcome in. Darth Brando, Walt Nasser, Nick. Fingers crossed for a renewed Lower Decks, Prodigy, and a green light for Legacy. I would adore a green light for Legacy. I would definitely love to see Prodigy. They're leaning so hard into this being the final season of Lower Decks. I think they're not going to continue it. They're too far down that path now. Breaks my heart. It's a fantastic series. Yeah, so I don't think we'll see it. But All Safe Cybersecurity, welcome in. Hello. Who else? Charlo, welcome in. Anybody else? Kieran. Hello, Kieran. How's it going? And Ricardo, hello. Give us the release date for section 31. Yeah, we don't have a release date. It just says within 2025. So, yeah, I expect that we'll get a date for that today. I'm sorry. Hi, Trek Central. Either Jack or TJ, whoever's manning the account for us tonight. So, right, shall we talk about Lower Decks first of all? If you haven't already seen it, we've been posting articles on Trek Central breaking down our favourite characters of Lower Decks so far. This is kind of a little bit of a self promo because I've written 2 of these and I'm very happy with them. So, yeah, if you head over to trekcentral.net, if you love Lower Decks, you can celebrate some of the best moments that the characters have had in the show so far. So we've got an article here on Mr. Bradwood Boimler, which I put together because last year at MCM I was dressed as Brad Boimler and I had a great time. So yeah, you can check that out there. We've also got a Beckett Mariner article up, and then we've also dived into the friends and foes of Lower Decks so far. I'm not going to spoil for you who's on this list. You're going to have to go and look that up yourself. But you know, the first section here is the Packlets and Captain Riker. So yeah, make sure that you go check that out. That'd be lovely. Lovely. Why can I hear music? Where is that coming from?
No music on my end.
Am I crazy? Why can I hear music? I don't have any music open. Ah, I know why. 1 second. Fixed it. That was so confusing. I know why that happened. Anyway, Battle for Bajor 2027. Oh, I would love DS9 stuff. I would love some DS9 stuff. You know me, I'm a huge DS9 nerd. I'm a huge Lower Decks nerd. And thank you for the compliments on the uniform, by the way. I got this for MCM. It's a little bit of a funny fit in places. Going to see if I can fudge that a little bit, but it's gorgeous. I love it because the TNG DS9 era uniform was my favorite. I did have a Lower Decks one last year, but it was a little bit... that was a bit of a weird fit, and it wasn't the best material. Yeah, so I was like, no, I'm gonna actually get a proper uniform. Not only that, but I may have got some props. Last year, I had a Lower Decks tricorder with a purple stripe. I may have scratched the heck out of that thing, but this time I've got a TNG phaser and a TNG tricorder as well. So yeah, I'm gonna have these with me. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna try not to scratch the hell out of them this time. Yeah, Cubby, I feel that. I think after Picard season 3, everyone is quite bogged out. Yeah, how do you feel about the Borg right now, Levi?
I mean, I'm always down for some Borg, but I think for me, I've always wanted to see. I mean, I have my own little fan fiction thing that I've been developing for a while, where it's like an alternate timeline with, Picard being killed by Riker, and the idea is that instead of a Dominion war, it's a Borg war because I think thematically, I've always preferred Cisco to go up against the Borg just because of that, personal connection he has to it. So I think that's where my feelings are on it. So I don't know how Seven of Nine would kind of get thrown into all of that, but I like the Borg generally. I mean, my first Star Trek movie I saw in the theater was Star Trek First Contact. So
I think the first one I saw in theatre was Nemesis. I'd missed all the others, and that was the first one I got around to watching in the cinema. Oh no, we can't start talking about Blue Bricks because it will make me want to go on the Blue Bricks site and start buying ships and stuff. And I cannot buy ships and stuff. Absolutely cannot be spending money on that right now. I already spent enough money on XL models the other year. But I did manage to land myself the Nana Visitor signed XL DS9, which is one of my prized possessions. So, yeah, I agree with that, Cubby. I think if the Borg's last appearance was going to be Picard season 3, I'd be happy with that. What that queen had turned into was terrifying, but it was really, really cool. It's a little bit like in Doctor Who with the Weeping Angels. They were really cool, but became really overused. And they'd kind of taken all the mystery out of them. They'd taken a lot of the danger out of them. So, yeah, I feel like the Borg have got to be done for quite a long time now.
I think they're pretty
You
much.
just... Oh, Cubby's already signed up for the new Starships collection. I cannot. I cannot commit that money right now. Yeah, I did buy myself a Starfleet uniform, but it's the only one I've really got, so kind of had to.
I mean, I like it. I wish I had a that era uniform. It's been my favorite. So
Yeah, I love it. Right, let's have a quick look at kind of the seasons of Star Trek that we've got coming up. So we know that the panel at NYCC today will start in about 15 minutes. So yes, that is true. I have the Boimler uniform, not to be confused with the boiler uniform. I don't fix boilers. I break boilers. Yeah, so the panel today will definitely cover Lower Decks and Section 31. The cast and the producers will be there. I'm sure they'll have trailers to show. That should be very exciting. I guess Section 31 has got to tell us a release date, especially if it's coming up in 2025, because hate to tell you guys, it's really not that long till 2025. So, yeah, check. Yeah, we'll hopefully have a release date for that very soon. Also on TrekCentral.net, we've got a review out of the new Starship Models collection. So make sure you head over to TrekCentral.net, check out all the reviews for those, because we've got lots of pictures of the models, as well as the Lower Deck stuff, comics reviews, all of the stuff that we'll be talking about today will go up on TrekCentral.net in more detail as well. Right. So, Lower Decks. Lower Decks is coming to an end. How do you feel about that, Levi?
very sad. Like I said, I wanted, to have a season 6 where we could have a poster that'll be done up like Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. And I don't know, maybe we'll get that in a movie.
Oh my god, imagine if they come out with a Lower Decks movie.
Yeah, that would be lovely. But there's no
That
rumors of that, so I want to quell that right now.
it could be the more question mark stuff. I mean, the
Maybe.
fan reception of Lower Decks has been outstanding. It's just such a beloved show. It wasn't that early into its run. It is ending prematurely. So it does make me really sad that it is coming to an end. Like it honestly, it easily could have been, and I say this every time we talk about Lower Decks, it easily could have been a gimmick, a gimmick, low quality comedy show, but it's not. It's made with so much love. The unique characters that they've created are just brilliant, and they're characters like Dr. Miglimo and Shax and Ta'ana, who you couldn't necessarily make work on screen, but in animated form, like it just brings a whole wonderful range of characters to life. And also between this and Prodigy, there are only two shows that are set after Deep Space Nine, but before Picard. It's our only way of looking at that period of time. And when Lower Decks ends, Prodigy is the only show that will still have in that time. But that's not been renewed, and we hope it will be, absolutely, because Prodigy is fantastic. So, what are your predictions or expectations of season 5? Is there anything in mind you particularly want to see?
And just based on the, trailer that I have seen, I really want to see what this like many lives of Harry Kim is all about. I really want to, you know, envelop myself in that, the comedy element that it is, him eternally the ensign, even though it's not entirely true since he was a captain, at least in Endgame,
Yes.
for like maybe 10 minutes. But either way,
Yeah, so
justice for Harry Kim.
we know that Harry Kim is coming back. We know that Gabrielle Ruiz is coming back as Talin. She is just fantastic. She is
Absolutely.
Vulcan as a mother. You know,
Yeah.
she's brilliant. So, but other
Yeah.
than that, we don't know a whole deal about this next season. Now, recent teasers have discussed that the overarching plot point of the season will be space potholes, what they call space potholes, but space time kind of rifts that keep opening that have to be closed. Do you think that
Yeah.
this is how we're going to see all these different versions of Harry Kim, for example?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think um, that could be a potential way we see him. I mean, if that's going to be like the season long element, like we had last season with the, that ended up being, spoiler alert, Locarno's whole, return. Um, I think that would be one way to bring that up because I feel like they're going to try to go all out this season with all kinds of crazy stuff, and I feel bad even trying to speculate on it because I feel like my speculation is going to pale into comparison to what actually will happen. But you know,
Yeah,
I
and
keep
I,
me
I
guessing all the time.
wonder how far they were through the series um, before they knew that it was going to be their last. I wonder if it was too late to have changed kind of a lot about the season. Um, kind of like Discovery, where they had to go back and film some reshoots to make it a conclusive ending. I wonder how much of the series they'd already completed before they knew that they wouldn't be getting anything more. So that will be interesting. Kind of talking about kind of the teaser clip that was shared. That is on Screen Rant, I believe. We'll have a breakdown out of that on Trek Central very soon. But for now, we do have the season poster to take a look at. So modeled after the poster for Star Trek V, which is largely regarded as not canon. So maybe the ending of Lower Decks won't be canon and it will carry on. I can dream. But yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous
Bold,
artwork.
bold,
They always nail these posters, don't you agree?
always.
So yeah, you've got
Yeah,
our lovely 4 lieutenants up here, plus the Cerritos, looking good. Now I've done a big zoom on these characters. I don't know if this is meant to be a particular character on the back of this targ. I don't recognize them unless it's going to be the Klingon from the second episode Envoys. But I don't
yeah, that
know.
wouldn't surprise me.
Could be.
Maybe.
Could very well happen. But you've got Captain Freeman and Commander Ransom there. You've got Tahana, Shax, Phillips, Kayshawn, Jennifer, Talin. The only one that I wasn't sure on is this person on the left here. I wasn't sure who this is. They look like they're wearing a yellow uniform with a tricorder out. Wasn't sure who that'd be.
Mm.
Anyway, Badgie isn't on the poster, but I feel like we've had a conclusive ending to Badgie's story. We have Guji. I'm not sure if we'll ever see Guji again, but check out my thoughts on that in the article I wrote on Track Central. So we've got some screen captures here from the clip that was shared. So we can't play the clip, but it is out there. But yeah, here are, you know, a few looks at it. So we've got Mariner, Rutherford, Boimler, and Tallinn step off the turbo lift onto the bridge to discover a space pothole. Now, what's interesting here is Rutherford's very stubbly. His hair's kind of messed up. Don't even get me started, chat. I'm really going to miss them. I'm going to miss them a lot. So, have they been awoken quite suddenly, or is, I don't know, is Rutherford going through a second puberty? So we've got Shax and Freeman on the bridge. Mariner is complaining about more space potholes, not to be confused with space potholes. That's different. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Rutherford's going to be missing Tendi. Oh, it breaks my heart when those two had to separate. He does. I didn't notice that. That's gross. Oh, I cry at TV shows all the time, to be honest. But I'm very likely to cry at the end of this because you know it's going to be a wonderful ending. It's going to be a wonderful ending. If you want to watch this clip as well, you'll be able to find it on Trek Central shortly. So you can check it out there. I've recently been binging Pokemon anime, and I got to the episode where, spoiler alert for a 25-year-old anime, where Misty, Brock, and Ash all go their separate ways at the end of Johto. Oh, it gets me. It destroys me inside. Absolutely destroys me inside. Oh my god, Rutherford's gross patches are actually disgusting. Oh my god, Jarvis, we should do that. Let's cry together. So, Ransom's on the bridge as well, looking ransomy as ever. Right, so this is the space butthole. Are we calling it a space butthole now?
I guess that's the scientific term.
So, what do you think? What crazy things can you think of that's going to happen with these space-time rifts?
I mean, I'm just trying to think about that episode of Next Gen Parallels, but like times 1,000. And yeah, there's any number of crazy things could happen from that. And I can't even think, you know, single thing would encapsulate my thought. But I do think it's going to be, you know, I mean, anything's possible. I mean, we've seen, you know, just from the Harry Kim thing, but we could see, I mean, if I was having any control over anything, it would be, you know, you'd see stuff like, I don't know, maybe a ship with Tasha Yar, maybe to, you know, she survives something, and then, you know, maybe she's the captain of the Enterprise in some other reality or something, you know.
Yeah,
Just crazy stuff.
that would be fantastic. Like Denise Crosby when she returned to Star Trek Online and voiced Tasha Yar and Seela again, like it was just so good. Like, how have they not thought to use that character again? She's so great, honestly. Someone in chat said Christopher said, how are we not commenting on the beard? Rutherford's beard? We did. We mentioned that, but the sweat patches are actually more gross. So Boimler is at the helm, where he often seems to be in bridge. And then the Rift starts doing weird spacey stuff. They all seem to go into like the Star Trek the motion picture kind of graphic style for a second. Oh, Scandic in chat saying, find it ironic that they, in the year they praise Star Trek and its animation is the year they cancel all their animated series. Absolutely agree. I blame the animated shorts. Oh yeah, will we see the koala again? We
Koala
last
knows all.
saw the koala when Badgie ascended.
Right.
Das Puppy, we are just discussing it because the panel is only viewable to those that are there. So we are just commenting on all the news that comes out as it happens. We won't be allowed to restream it. Absolutely not. We would get told off quite badly for that. So yeah, going all weird and warpy. And oh look, there's another Cerritos coming through the rift.
That's kind of evoking like images from yesterday's Enterprise a little bit.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder what reality they'll be coming from.
Yeah,
It
like
kind of
given that
looks
we know
like
there's gonna be a lot of Harry Kims. We've seen in the teaser trailer there's a lot of different. I think there's more alternate characters than just this. But yeah, look at this. This is cool. You've got Boimler with a beard, looking kind of older. You've got Barnes, who just looks completely normal to me. I don't see anything different with Barnes. Ta'ana looking normal. Ransom with longer hair. And Captain Becky Mariner. Not Beckett, Becky.
yeah, yeah.
And we got Shax with long hair, and then a much more android Rutherford. He's got two cybernetic eyes, armor plating, and a robotic arm now. What happened to him? What do you reckon happened to Rutherford?
It makes me think that even beyond what we're seeing with Captain Becky Mariner, it makes me kind of wonder that something big has happened, some kind of a war scenario, and maybe this is a cost that he had to pay for this conflict that they had.
Maybe. I feel like if they were doing that, they would be paying more homage to yesterday's Enterprise. You know, where the Next Generation cast had this weird kind of bandolier strap across all of them, and everything was darker. That was like their way of signifying that it was wartime.
Yeah.
I feel like this is more parallels based, as you said, with like Commander Worf. I think it'd be great to see like a whole other. I always love what if scenarios. Quick shout out to our video on the Trek Central YouTube, the what if scenario if Voyager had never gone to the Delta Quadrant. Really cool, interesting video. You should definitely check that out. I adore what if scenarios. And when you've got all these multiverses and all the different timelines out there, I love looking at what could have been. So yeah, to see multiple Cerritos here would be absolutely awesome. Murik in chat saying Boimler doing his best Riker impersonation. Absolutely agree. And weird question, is there any plans to create a new movie in the Kelvin timeline? As Scandic has said, yeah, it's in development hell. I don't think they can afford the actors anymore. Because Paramount keep announcing that it's going ahead. They've even said it was going to be in 2024, yet none of the actors are aware of it. And it's just, yeah, it's in development hell. I don't know if we're ever going to see another Kelvin movie. Yeah, I can't work. Words are hard today. I don't know if we're ever going to see any more Kelvin. But what do you think about the Kelvin movies, Levi?
I'm a very big fan of the first movie. I think it's a very entertaining and very, if you're, coming into Star Trek completely, you know, uninitiated, you walk into that one. I feel just with the opening scene on the Kelvin, that's enough to get someone who isn't initiated to Star Trek into Star Trek. But there's a giant caveat to these movies, and I will not defend Star Trek Into Darkness. However, I do believe the opening scene in Into Darkness is classic Star Trek. So when they're on this planet, Nibiru, now that would have been a perfectly fine movie. They go to this planet, they accidentally expose this civilization to um, the Enterprise, and then what does that do to that civilization? Like that would have been a good movie, but instead, no. But I actually like Beyond, so
See, I don't mind Into Darkness, but I didn't particularly like Beyond. I really didn't like that weird space station, whatever the hell that thing was supposed to be. Really didn't like that. Yeah, it was very yeah. I liked the throwback to the Makos from the Enterprise era. That was really cool though. Yeah, it was just a
I wasn't
bit
expecting that.
for me. And yeah, Quentin
Yeah, I actually
Tarantino
like it.
was connected with Trek for quite a while, apparently writing a movie. It just never happened though.
As far as I'm aware, I don't think Quentin Tarantino actually seriously considered making a Trek movie. At least not to the level that he makes his own movies. And usually his MO isn't really to like make another person's movie. So yeah, I don't know. I think he wanted to entertain the thought, but he never really was going to go follow through on it.
Hmm. Oh, chat saying could be fun if you gave him the mirror universe to play with. That would be cool. Yeah. I could see the Section 31 movie um as kind of something Quentin Tarantino would have been quite good at as well, because it's quite action packed, it's quite dark, it's a bit violent, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh, Orville season 4. Is there a new season? I feel like I'd heard that, but
I
I
mean,
wasn't sure.
I've only ever heard of the Orville season 3. So
I mean that last season was also fantastic. Really good. Right, getting back to this, we've got Becky Mariner. And then yeah, when the captain Becky Mariner appears on screen, our Mariner's like, oh, okay, what's going on here then? It'll be very interesting to see. That's not fair. Yeah, I remember. I feel like I'd heard something about that pop up. And I'm trying to think of her name, the actress who plays Kelly. Love her. She was in Agents of Shield, and she was fantastic. And she said that she hadn't heard anything, but that was a while back now. But well, Scandic, I think something to consider is the purpose of Section 31 and the way they operated changed vastly in Discovery's time compared to AGM Palicki. That's it. Thank you. Compared to Deep Space Nine time, it was because of the whole control incident. Like Section 31 wasn't an agency that operated in the shadows originally. They were well known to a lot of people in Starfleet back in the time of Discovery. But because of the whole incident with Control, that's when they decided to retreat into the shadows. So it's only when we get to like Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, that they really do operate in the dark now. Yeah, like we don't know when the Section 31 movie is going to be set just yet, but we do know that Rachel Garrett is going to be in the film before she's the captain of the Enterprise C. So you know that's after the control incident. So Section 31 are going to be more of a secretive operation, sure, but we don't know to what extent just yet they're even involved in the movie. Yeah, we know very little about that. Very, very
well,
little.
what are your thoughts on Section 31 as an idea in Star Trek?
I kind of love it, but I don't see the point in having a secret agency, because stuff like that doesn't stay secret forever. Like it does come out. In this age where information is so easy to come across, so difficult to control, I just don't feel like it's realistic to have a organization that doesn't exist, really. People are going to know about it. People are going to find out about it. It's a bit silly. Oh yeah, Murik, yeah, that is right. They were secretive in Enterprise. I just think when they got to Discovery, they were so arrogant. And you could see in Discovery, Section 31 were an arrogant, complacent bureau. Yeah, I think, yeah, they definitely let complacency get the better of them. Thought that they could operate outside the shadows. The panel has started. We are just waiting for news to break down. Apparently, New York ComicCon are watching the first episode of Lower Decks, and I'm very jealous because I want to watch it now. We've only got to wait till Thursday. But yeah, we're breaking down the news that comes out of the panel. We're not showing the panel.
Yeah, it must be nice for people who live in New York.
Okay, so, right. What else? Let me flip back to this screen, and I will get rid of all these. What are your thoughts on Section 31?
I think for me, it represents a really big missed opportunity, I feel. I was reading the E&M Banks series, the culture novels, and in it they have an organization called Special Circumstances. And I think for me, um, I think that Section 31 should occupy that same sort of status. But for whatever reason, I feel like the executives of Star Trek right now want to make it more of a clandestine organization that is more interested in like overt military action, and I don't know how realistic that really is, but
I think it's always going to be hard when... Okay, so Section 31 was created during Deep Space Nine, which was... What was that, like 40 years after Star Trek had originally been created? You're retroactively creating that agency and inserting them into that amount of history. It's not always going to work. It's not always going to make sense.
yeah.
When you retroactively do something like that, you just kind of have to make it work as best you can. And I think the idea of them not having ships or stations anymore, I think just take it very much with a pinch of salt. Like the Star Trek timeline, you know, begins First Contact 2063 up until 2403, whatever Picard's running in, and then however many centuries ahead Discovery is at the moment. But, you know, things are going to change, even in a fictional universe, every couple of decades. You know, what worked for Section 31 in the Enterprise era, you know, they'll have gone on, developed, be doing something completely different in the time of Discovery's early season. And then when it gets to, you know, the original series, Next Generation, they hadn't been created then, so they naturally weren't a thing until Deep Space Nine when they were created, really. So yeah, it's a tough one because you kind of have to at that point say they've got no ships or stations, because how else can you make an agency that extensive work? Yeah, what F Plus is saying about finding a way to include William Shatner, absolutely. I personally don't like the man a huge amount, but he is and always will be our friend. No, Captain Kirk. So considering that we did get that him teased and then it was Hikaru Sulu that appeared in Lower Decks. Oh my god, that scene with George Takei, amazing. And Boimler's crisis arc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think just this year, I think I've met him twice, William Shatner, and it was once for the ISDC conference in LA. It was for the National Space Society, and he was talking about how his experience with going into space kind of changed his view on a lot of space travel and space exploration. And then I met him again for the Star Trek Las Vegas event, and we did like a photo op with him. And yeah, he didn't strike me as somebody who was abrasive or anything, but I think you can kind of tell that um, the years are kind of catching up to him.
Do you think he's mellowing out in his old age?
I don't know. I think I would like to believe that, but I feel like in his older age, he's becoming a little more entrenched, and I feel like he's starting to embrace more of this idea that maybe we should be catering to the Earth more than space travel. And I don't know if I'm quite there on that. So I do disagree with the man on that front.
That's fair. All right, I'm just catching up with what chat are saying. They're doing Sulu impressions in chat right now. Oh my, love it. Oh yeah, I can't remember where I saw it. I think I saw an interview with Shatner somewhere, talking about his experience in space and how it changed his perspective. Yeah, I think it really did have an impact on him. I think it would have an impact on all of us. I don't think I'd actually want to go to space because it's never going to be like it is in Star Trek. I don't think I'd be very comfortable with real space travel. I don't even like flying, to be honest.
And I've never flown, so
You haven't flown at all.
one never. I take trains,
That's fair. I wish I could
but
get
no, it's
trains everywhere.
no. I mean, most of the places I want to go to have they're readily accessible by some form of train, or I can just carpool with somebody and then I get there. But eventually, I'm going to probably have to hop on a plane. So, especially if I want to go to London at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Definitely, definitely. I've flown a lot in my life, but it doesn't make me hate it any less. It doesn't get any easier. Chat talking about
yeah.
Bashir. I loved Bashir as well. Like when I spent kind of some time this summer rewatching the whole of Deep Space Nine, and I just think like it's got the best cast, the most growth with each individual cast, like with each individual character. Like the insufferable pest that Bashir is in early Deep Space Nine is awful, but the character he grows into, amazing. And I know that in beta canon, Bashir goes on to become the leader of Section 31. That really interests me. That idea really interests me. And when I was rewatching Lower Decks recently as well, and we went to the Deep Space Nine episode, I really wish that we could have seen Dr. Bashir there. That would have been awesome. But we don't know. We don't know where he is right now. We don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Cubby raises a good point about space travel. It'd be dull. There's nothing up there. Yeah, that is true.
Well, I mean, it's all about how much time it'll be to wherever you get to. So, I mean, it's like 3 or 4 days to the moon, and then like at best 6 months to Mars, 2 years if you have like a really big, awesome fusion drive to get you to Saturn. So I imagine there's a lot of waiting.
A lot of waiting. It'd be like Aliens, where you've got your cryo pods and stuff. Oh my god! Now we're talking about Garrick in chat. I adore Garrick. Haggle. I love it. That is like one of my most used gifts in all of the internet is Garek's jazz hands. Brilliant. Love it.
Mm.
Okay, so whilst the panel are watching the first episode of season 5, we may not have that kind of discussion just yet. So we're waiting for them to do that. Another kind of tease that we have had from Lower Decks, or Mike McMahon, that is, Enterprise characters could appear. I know that wherever Jack is, he was like instantly on red alert as soon as he heard the word Enterprise. Mike McMahon has found a way of doing it. I think not doing that, but including the Enterprise characters. How do you think they're going to do that?
That's a good question. I mean, judging by how they did it in the short treks, I think they brought in very short treks. They brought in Trip, and I started thinking about awkward ways you could bring him in. I mean, maybe even have a holodeck program where they're poking fun at these are the voyages, but I don't know.
I'm trying to think, which episode was it of Lower Decks where it suggested that Trip isn't dead? I'm trying to think, was it the one where Mariner and Boimler are manning the Starfleet recruitment booth on Torgana 4, and all the people are like talking about conspiracies, and one of them says about Trip not being dead or something. Like, yeah, that'd be cool. It's definitely going to be a holodeck simulation. We've already had time travel with the with Pike's Enterprise crew. I feel like to do that again, it wouldn't quite work. So it's going to be holodeck, isn't it?
Maybe.
Also, as
Fingers
well,
crossed.
I remember when Riker and the Titan came to the Adas Threatos at the Packland battle. Riker came to the bridge from the holodeck where he was spending time with the Enterprise crew, making reference to the that awful ending of Enterprise.
Yeah.
It wasn't their fault; they couldn't help it.
I feel like their heart was in the right place for it, but yeah, I would have done that.
Yeah, where Discovery and Lower Decks have benefited from knowing early into their season that they're coming to an end, Enterprise did not. Enterprise did not have that that warning, unfortunately, which really sucks for them.
Yeah.
Or potential Star Trek Strange New Worlds season 3 reveal, question mark maybe. Yeah, I agree, Seal. I agree. If it hadn't been the finale, it could have been fun. I just think I take that ending with a massive pinch of salt. It wasn't their fault. They kind of did the best they could. Yeah. Yeah, so we think holodeck. Which Enterprise characters do you think we'll see?
I mean, I know I want to see, um, to Paul, but I don't think we're going to because, um,
Jolene Blaylock is
she's,
retired now, I think.
yeah, so that would probably have to be, one of those recast situations. But I guess we can see Archer, maybe Malcolm Reed and Trip.
I would love that. It would be cool. Enterprise is very underrated.
Yep, that we did. I do miss that show, and I wish we could have got 7 seasons out of that one too.
Yeah, it would have been nice. It was a slow start, but it was really getting into its own. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely love to see Archer. Um, I have just seen what's his face, Scott Bakula pop up in Only Murders in the Building.
What's his face?
Yeah, what's his face, Scott Bakula. He's just made an appearance in Only Murders in the Building, and I'm just like, just give us some Captain Archer. Yeah, Archer, Trip, and Phlox would be cool. Yeah, Archer, Trip, Reed. Yeah, it'd be good to get the main ones back. Obviously, Jolene Blaylock is retired. Yeah, Nana Visitor couldn't get a hold of her for the book, which is a shame because as I was watching an interview with Nana recently, where she's talking about the book and some of the stories and stuff, and how Deep Space Nine and Voyager had done a lot for women in Star Trek. Let's not talk about Prophet and Lace. That was a backward step. But then Enterprise kind of undid a lot of that progress. But progress isn't always a linear path, unfortunately. But yeah.
Yeah, it could zigzag a little bit, but I mean, I do credit Voyager with instilling in me the view that women can be in leadership roles. So it's never been a question for me that women can have, some sort of a role in, government, military, whatever it is. That's never been a question for me. I know there are some people out there who question a lot of Janeway's um, decisions, but she's still making decisions, and I think that's better than having a female character without any agency at all. And I feel like with a character like Janeway, somebody put it this way: there's the right way, the wrong way, and the Janeway, and that works for me.
I love the Janeway. The Janeway is brutal. I would not like to be on her ship, to be honest. Jesus.
I mean,
It's the
part of me kind of
Janeway or
hopes
the
that,
highway.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
wonder what kind of how they're going to use Enterprise characters. Like Enterprise is beloved by its hardcore fans, and I think it has aged well. People look upon it fondly. Um, I think, however, they're included in Lower Decks isn't going to be some kind of throwaway gag. I think it's going to be a real meaningful tribute um, to the Enterprise series, because we had a wonderful tribute to them in the those old scientists on Strange New Worlds, where they got to talk about the Heronium and how each ship has a piece of the previous one on board, and we have the Archer space dock in Discovery. So yeah, it's gonna be they're gonna poke fun. That reminds me, because we do have that scene in the teaser where they're in a decon chamber.
yeah, that's it.
I wonder if that's the episode where they're going to be.
Maybe I kind of feel like that would be more of a one-off joke, but I think that could be the first indicator that there'll be more references to Enterprise this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of me saw that and thought, um are they at some kind of Enterprise museum? Which I don't think there will be, because they've already done that with Voyager. Beginning of season 4, they towed Voyager to Earth to become a museum. Will it be some kind of Enterprise experience? I'm not sure, because in season 3 we saw the first contact experience. So I don't know. Could we see time travel? I'm not sure, because we had that in Strange New Worlds. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to think about. Hopefully, really, really cool.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad.
Okay. Oh, go on.
Yeah, not saying I feel kind of bad trying to speculate, but you bring up a lot of good points because I mean it's only been like 4 seasons so far, and we're going into the 5th. But like, they've done a lot of great stuff with the material they have. So like, what else could they think of? But I know they're really good at kind of throwing us all for a loop. So yeah, I'm excited to see that.
The opportunities seem to be endless. They've got so many characters to play with, so many potential situations. Yeah, I just think, particularly when it's animation, they can just literally do whatever they want to do, and they've done a fantastic job doing that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I had something I was gonna say about how do we think there was something that what was gonna say, like what was gonna happen. Do we think that the end of Lower Decks is going to line up with the end of season 2 of Prodigy? Spoiler alert for anybody who's not seen the end of season 2 of Prodigy.
I mean, I would imagine not, but judging by, and obviously I've seen season 2 of Prodigy now, so now I'm kind of familiar with what has gone on, but I'll try to keep myself from spoiling too much. But I thought it was very impressive how they were able to blend these elements of, you know, stuff we saw in other series and kind of bring them all full circle. I would hope that they do that with Lower Decks and kind of bring everything full circle. But yeah, I'm curious to see what they do.
I feel I'm going to spoil it. Like, if you haven't seen the ending of season 2 of Prodigy, soz, it's been out for a while. And this is your spoiler warning. Mute for a couple of minutes, and I'll give you a thumbs up when you can unmute. Yeah, I do have a feeling that Lower Decks will end with the disaster on Mars. Or is it too early in the timeline for that? Just trying to think.
Yeah, I think it might be a bit too early for that.
Maybe. Because I can't think. Can anybody check the years for me? But I think it'd be cool for, well, it wouldn't be cool because, Utopia Planitia, but I think Lower Decks will end in some way with a reference to the Romulan supernova or Utopia Planitia, that kind of thing. I think there's going to be some kind of reference there.
Maybe. If nothing else, it'll be a reference to synths. At least that's my theory.
Panel starting. So have they finished the episode now then, I believe. Don't forget, chat, you can super chat your questions. If you have any burning questions that you need to ask us, absolutely hit that super chat button. Also, click join down below to become a member of the channel, because you'll get special Trek Central emotes, and you'll help support us being able to bring all these the live streams to you. So thank you very much for the members of our community. Hit that join button and send us in some super chats. Particularly, what do you most want to see? What is your most desired cameo or situation in Lower Decks? That'd be awesome to hear about. Yeah, I was also thinking that. Like, I wonder particularly where Rutherford's going to go. And also as well, like, I wonder how Tendy's going to come up to the Cerritos. That's going to be an interesting one. Right, whilst we're waiting for some news to come out of the panel, let's kind of talk about Section 31 a little bit. So, there's no release date for this. We are expecting to hear one today. Well, I'm expecting to hear one today, definitely. So we've got kind of what we've had revealed so far. We've got Casey Roll as Rachel Garrett, the future captain of the USS Enterprise C. We don't know when the film is set, but we know it's within the Lost era point of Star Trek history. And it's, you know, a much younger Rachel Garrett before, you know, being a Enterprise captain. We've got Giorgio's parents have been casted. So Philippa Giorgio, Emperor Philippa Giorgio, her parents. We've got Cindy Go as Giorgio's mother, Houston Wong as Giorgio's dad, Nikita Kim as Philippa Giorgio's younger brother. It is a TV film released on Paramount Plus. That's pretty much kind of all we know. We know that Sam Richardson's in the film, and he is playing a, what are they called? Cameloid?
The Cameloid?
Cameloid, yeah. What do you think about that? First time we've seen one since Star Trek 6?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, it's a curiosity to me, but I guess that would be kind of an asset in a scenario like that. I mean, if you're going to be, you know, part of this espionage, you know, clandestine movement or unit, you'd want somebody who can not only blend in, but literally, you know, change form into whatever is necessary for the mission. So I think that's the idea of that. I think is very interesting, and I'm really curious to see how they're going to execute that.
Definitely makes sense to have a shapeshifter on your team if you are kind of going on undercover operations. Like, there are, for me, when it comes to Section 31, there are so many unknowns. Like, we don't know how Philippa Georgia, or we don't know where exactly she goes when she leaves Discovery, goes through the Guardian of Forever. We have no idea what happens to her. So I it's got a lot of explaining to do to kind of tell us her journey, explain her current situation. Like, she's going to be in a completely different time frame. We have no idea why. We've no idea what the plot of the movie is. Like, I remember watching the teaser trailer, and it didn't really answer any of my questions at all. It just left me with more answers. I am very interested to see how this Cameloid works. I love Sam Richardson as an actor. I saw him in a show called The After Party, and he was brilliant in that. So I'm looking forward to seeing him on the screen in this. That would be lovely. Yeah, Scandic, also a little bit cynical with the movie and series. You know, as somebody else in chat said earlier, as long as there's some Trek to watch, I will enjoy it. I know I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, it's just kind of, yeah, we'll see what happens. We're definitely going to get a more detailed trailer.
Is there talk about it becoming like a film series, or I haven't
No idea. As far as I know, Michelle Yeoh is down to do more. You know, she's a huge actress. She's going to pull in a lot of fans just through that alone. Yeah, I think it could be cool. I'm also kind of positive that they're going to put something out that's good to watch. I don't think anything Trek-wise has been put out there apart from the very short shorts that I've watched and gone, this is awful. Or I've not watched anything other than the short shorts that I've regretted watching or felt has been a waste of time. Like, those very short Treks were not good. Not good.
I want to say I maybe liked one of them, but I'm not entirely sure which one it was, because they all kind of blend together for me.
Yeah, I think the only one I liked was the one with holograms.
That might be it.
It was the one that had Prodigy in it as well. Like, yeah, it was weird. It was cool. That was the only one I liked. Anyway, so we've only had a teaser trailer so far of Section 31. With there being a panel, we're going to expect to see A few more details come out about the movie. They've got so many questions to answer for me. But I do expect that we're going to get a proper full-length trailer. I think we've just had a teaser so far. Yeah, did Aaron Walkie do the... I think Aaron Walkie did the hologram one, I think. Yeah, so we've got to get a full trailer that tells us what the plot of the TV film is, because I'd kind of like to know what it is at this point. It'd be quite nice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm open to Section 31. I just don't know, like everyone else, what it'll be what it'll mean for the rest of the franchise. But yeah, I mean, Michelle Yeoh, she just won an Oscar not long ago, so her profile is a lot more boosted than it was before.
Yeah.
But I believe
Absolutely
those,
capitalize on the success of Michelle Yeoh.
yeah, I mean, it seemed like she was down from the start. I mean, I remember reading that she was open to it becoming a series, and then because of the obligations that went out, they thought that it would be better to make a movie and maybe a series of movies. And yeah, that's the last I heard of those specifics. But
Yeah, that's right. This is something that was supposed to be a series but became a movie. Sometimes I think that just makes better storytelling. I think a lot of companies are kind of eager to make a series out of something that could easily be told through a movie. I know the Marvel's definitely guilty of that sometimes.
yeah,
I think it gives them this one opportunity to tell the story they wanted to tell with a series, but in a more condensed format and in a way that they can afford Michelle Yeoh, who is an Oscar winner now. So, but she loves the character. She's always down to play her. So, I do hope that this kind of film is definitely enjoyable, definitely useful, because the Lost Era as well is another period of time that we haven't really seen a lot of. There's a lot from that period between the generations where Kirk is killed and the Enterprise D is launched. Yeah, there's a huge gap of time to explore, and I kind of feel like if Lower Decks and Prodigy both end, and there's no current series going on that aren't way in Discovery's future, that is going to become a second Lost Era, because we're not going to know already. We don't really know what happens until the beginning of Picard. Like, we know that Bajor joins the Federation. We don't know how. We don't know why. We don't know where any Klingons are in that future. We haven't seen Deep Space Nine. There's a ton about that future we don't know. There's a huge period of history between the time frame that Prodigy and Lower Decks occupy and the beginning of Picard, which for me kind of acts like a second Lost Era if we don't have anything to continue exploring it. Because if we do eventually get Star Trek Legacy, that will be in 2405 or whatever, where Picard is currently set. So, any things from that era of
yeah.
history that you'd particularly like to see?
Well, I mean, for me, my exposure to the Lost Era was a bunch of novels. I think published in the 2000s and I think part of the 2010s, and that kind of filled in a little bit of the gaps I had for the era. We were learning about Captain Harriman and the Enterprise B, even Rachel Garrett and the Enterprise C. But I don't remember there being any reference to Section 31 in that specific novel. And then you would explore a little bit more of Captain Sulu and the Excelsior. I think even a little bit of a younger Lieutenant Riker and his experiences. And so there was this novel series that just kind of dived into this whole era. And I think much like the other sci-fi franchise that's kind of dismissed all of its book series, um, yeah, we can kind of you know look at those books and kind of be like, okay, maybe, but those are like never been canon, I guess, because it's a novel. It has to be either live action television or a movie to be canon. So
I love beta canon. Like, I never read the Lost Era kind of series of books. I read almost all of them after the end of Deep Space Nine. The continuation of Deep Space Nine after the series, like, those books were my favorite. And actually, talking about those books, Jarvis, have you started reading them? I've been lending Jarvis my books, so she can read them. And I definitely want to know what you think of them if you've had a chance to. Yeah, those are the ones that I've been reading. I love it when they make beta canon because quite a lot of the time, beta canon is either written by Trek nerds like us that have a lot of knowledge, or actually by writers who work on the show themselves. Jerry Taylor, who worked on Star Trek Voyager, put out a ton of novels for that over the years. And you do see parts of that extended canon brought into regular canon in little ways in the background. And I really appreciate when that happens, especially Picard canonized Star Trek Online ships, which was amazing for me. That was a beautiful bit of canonizing they did there. Yeah, and I think it'd be really actually cool to find out anything about the Enterprise B or Captain Harriman. It's largely going to depend on literally when Section 31 is set.
and yeah, I mean, my speculation would say that, and I'm aware a little bit of the timeline. So the Enterprise C is supposed to have gone missing at the Battle of Narendra 3 in 2344. And the decommissioning of the Enterprise B, if I'm not mistaken, is sometime in 2311. So it would stand to reason, at least for me, that it could be set somewhere in that. Maybe it is set at the decommissioning of the Enterprise B, and that's the backdrop, and then we're seeing a younger Rachel Garrett in that moment. But it's not really clear how old Garrett was when she, was,
Yeah, she kind
on
of
her
looks
mission.
like
So
she's kind of early 30s. She does seem quite young for a captain, so she must be a big achiever.
yeah, I think for me at the high end, she would be in her 40s, but I don't think any older than that. And I think that'd be pushing it. But yeah, even then, yeah, it would have to be much, much further after the decommissioning of the Enterprise B for that to
And
gel.
that's quite an early date actually for the decommissioning of the Enterprise, isn't it? It's quite an early date.
Well, the Enterprise B, I think, was commissioned in 2293, so that would be what, almost 20 years, a little bit over almost 20 years of a service time. So
Nice. Under one
not
captain
too
as
bad.
well. That's a long time to
I
be a
believe.
captain of a starship.
I mean, I think it's only. Well, I mean, what was Captain? Because Picard got to command the Stargazer in 2333, and I mean, Nemesis is what, 2379. So he was a captain for like 40 years, if that's the timeline.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So it makes me think, like, if Starfleet captains, or if there's just enough ships to where that's not a problem. But it makes you wonder, like, if somebody's gonna be in charge or be a captain for that long, you kind of stop other people from advancing. So I don't know how effective that really is, but
Right. So we've also got Starfleet Academy. Now I'm not sure if we're going to hear anything about this today, but maybe we will. Not expected until late 2025, early 2026. 10 episodes filming in Toronto, Canada right now. We've got Holly Hunter, Karis Brooks, Bella Shepherd, George Hawkins, Kareem Dayan, Zoe Steiner, and then returning characters: Tig Notaro, Robert Picardo, Sandra Roster, Oded Fair, Mary Wiseman, and then the additions of Paul Giamatti and Gina Yasher as well. So it's quite a star-studded cast there with Paul Giamatti. and Holly Hunter
Yeah.
on the cast. Like, that's massive.
Yeah. Heavy hitters. Curious to see what they actually do with it. I don't know if you've read anything about it, but Katie Sackhoff had Jonathan Frakes on her show, and she was kind of pitching herself to be involved in Star Trek. And so I don't know. I think that's going to be interesting because Jonathan Frakes said that he's going to pitch Katie Sackhoff to be in a Star Trek, and he was kind of pitching her the idea of being in Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. So I mean, either way, if she ends up in Starfleet Academy or if she ends up in Strange New Worlds, she has to go to Toronto. So it's up to her if she wants to do that. But it's interesting if she adds that next franchise to her body of work.
Yeah, and I agree with what Murik is saying in chat. I really wasn't interested in Academy. I'm also fundamentally not interested in whatever this next series that Tawny Newsome is working on that's going to be some kind of comedy show. It's like my first thought is like, no, I don't want that. I want more of what I love the most, which is Lower Decks and Prodigy, and you're
Yeah.
ending both of those and giving me stuff that I didn't ask for. So, but yes, the return of Bob Picardo as the EMH and Admiral Vance. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to those two characters in particular returning, especially seeing we're going to see a completely different EMH in the, what are they, in 32nd century or whatever they are now.
39, 30
Think
something.
about where.
Yeah, I haven't seen the remainder of Discovery, so I'm not entirely sure.
Well, think about where the EMH is at that point in his life. Like, he's going to be hundreds of years old. Everybody that he's loved and known is definitely dead from his original time period. Think about what he's been through. Is he going to be a wildly different character, or is he going to be the same Doctor that he's always been? Right, I need to flip to this screen temporarily because I've got some pictures to share, but I can't. I can't show the Discord because whilst we're talking about. TJ, who was that first group that you've put there? Okay, right. Switching back. Okay, so we've got some pictures from New York ComicCon to share. So Bob Picardo is there. He's at New York ComicCon. Does that mean that we're going to get some Starfleet Academy news or Prodigy news? Oh, Murik, that's a really good point. The Living Witness backup one, yeah, that's an interesting thing to think about.
I mean,
Hi,
yeah,
Ranger
I mean,
Donny. How you doing? Good to see you. I hope you're well. Doing well, thank you. Yes, so sorry, I'm keeping an eye on our news channel just to make sure that I've got my eye on that. But yeah, we know that Robert Picardo is at New York Comic Con, so maybe we'll get some EMH stuff today. We've got Carol Kane and Ethan Peck there from Strange New Worlds. I love Carol Kane. I adore her. She's so much fun.
she's great.
More Ethan Peck, and then we've got them with the showrunners there. Keeping an eye for any more that come in. But I just love this one of Robert Picardo just holding a hat, because why not? He's such a cool dude.
Mm.
So with the Doctor popping up in Starfleet Academy, what do you imagine his role is going to be in that?
I mean, I imagine he would be the one like an advisor for the younger generations coming in to this new Starfleet Academy. I mean, who else would you want than somebody who has literally all the knowledge and was there for a lot of the you know that period of time that
Yeah.
as you mentioned our possible second lost era, but also Star Trek Picard, the entire run of Voyager, and then I kind of like this idea though. Maybe we might end up with two different EMHs. I mean, we end up with the one that we know and love, and then we end up with the one from Living Witness because I think, um, but I mean maybe not. I mean I think the one from Living Witness, I think that one ends in like 37 something, so that might even still be a little bit afterwards. But
Oh, that's a good point actually. Yeah, it doesn't have a portable um holographic what to do it either. So yeah, okay. Keeping an eye on the feeds.
yeah,
Jarvis, have you started reading the books I sent you? His Doctor, don't you think it would be medical? Well, he's evolved much further beyond that,
I
like
mean he was an
in
emergency
Voyager.
command.
Yeah,
Friend.
he becomes the
So,
ECH. He's got this desire to be more than just a doctor. And he definitely plays more of a mentor slash advisor role in Prodigy.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think, yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be an advisor. Um, he's going to have, as much wisdom as Daniels does. In Enterprise, he's going to have that same kind of wisdom from being around for however many timelines and hundreds of years or so. So Strange New Worlds. We've got some of the cast there at New York ComicCon today. Do you think we're going to hear anything about that today? They don't have a panel, as far as I know. But do you think we're going to hear anything about the series?
I mean maybe. I mean it would be something to get a trailer, but I don't know if there's any actual movement on that. Or at least a tease. Give us a tease.
Yeah, I think we should have a tease at least. That would be lovely. Um, yeah, like we have seen a little bit of we've seen a clip, right? Yeah, we've seen the clip where they're all turning into Vulcans. So we know that all of the important characters are going to survive the cliffhanger from the last season. The only character I guess we don't really know the fate of is Captain Battelle. Do we think Captain
Yeah.
Battelle is going to bite the dust?
I mean, me personally, because I like the actress, I would hope not. But because of, Captain Pike and his destiny, I have a feeling that she will.
I feel like in 2024, 2025, wherever this is aired, I would like to feel like we're growing out. Um, we're we're evolving beyond fridging female characters. I think, yeah, we should. Yeah, I don't want her to die. I think it would be an absolute disrespect to the character for her to die only for the suffering of Pike or the development of his character. That's what fridging is for those in chat who don't know about that. So, yeah, I would like to see Battelle survive. Definitely like to survive that episode. Please, we already lost Emma, so let's not lose any more to the Gorn, please.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope. I mean, it would be nice to do that, but yeah, bridging is a new term for me. I'll have to use that.
Oh, really? You didn't know that before? Yeah, so
No.
the fridging is when a female character is killed off for the development of a male character. Um,
Yeah, I think there's a term for it, but I never heard it referred to as that.
mhm.
You had a lot coming through.
I don't know what any of these pictures are though. Is is that the person playing Rachel Garrett? I don't know. It looks like I'm just looking. Sorry, we're looking at our news feed because we're getting fed live info, and she looks like oh, who plays She-Hulk? Who's the actress that plays She-Hulk? She's amazing.
I know
And
what you're saying, but the
I've
name escapes me.
gone blank on her name. So Lothar wouldn't mind seeing more of the Cations. That is correct, yeah. I feel like we've seen them in the original series movies at some point. I feel like we've seen one in a movie at some point, but that's the only time we've really seen them. Yeah, Star Trek Discovery is the only Tatiana Maslany. There we go. Teamwork, trademark, teamwork. Tatiana Maslany. She's amazing. I love her. I feel like the only series of Star Trek that has dived into spending special effects on including more alien races on board the ship has been Discovery.
Yeah.
I can't think, TNG was just humans, an android, and a Klingon. And then Voyager was
And a
humans.
Betazoid.
That's true. Humans, a Borg, a Vulcan, half Klingon. Deep Space Nine was a bit wild. They had a changeling and some Ferengis and Cardassians. So actually, Deep Space Nine did well. They did well. But yeah, Discovery has been really varied in their use of other races. They're willing to spend, like, imagine how much Linus costs for an episode to animate that. And of course, Saru in most episodes as well. Like, they're the only series that has really, outside of animation form, because that doesn't count. They're the only season of any Star Trek that has really invested that much in.
Well, looks like you may have been right, Mike.
Oh, hello. Incoming transmission. That is Tatiana Maslany. Okay, then.
It's official. StarTrek.com.
Okay, right. Chat, we are just reading this now. Bear with us. Right. I was like, why am I looking at pictures of Tatiana Maslany in Discord? like, I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to talk to the stream. I'm trying to keep an eye on this out the corner of my eye. So, Tatiana Maslany is joining Star Trek's Starfleet Academy, according to this. Right. Bear with, chat. I'm gonna hide Levi for a second whilst I open and then I can show you StarTrek.com. This is on StarTrek.com. So I can show you this. We won't get told off. Right, there we go. Levi's back. So, here we go. So, Emmy Award winner Tatiana Maslany to guest star in Star Trek Starfleet Academy. So this is some fresh news. Yeah. So Starfleet Academy has been renewed to a second season, and we've not even seen season 1 yet. So they must be very confident with this season, or maybe they give it a set period of time with which to tell their story. Oh, what's Murik saying? Wouldn't mind seeing about a lead character to be non-human. Yeah, I feel like we've had that with with Prodigy. That but again, that's animated, so I
mean, I would like to see
Seal. I hate it when moderators bluff and they don't know anything. What were you saying, Levi?
I was just going to say that I would like it if we saw a series, if you're going to put it on the Enterprise or something, where the series starts out the gate with an alien captain, and then we just go from there.
Well, if we get Legacy, 7 of 9, Captain of the Enterprise, yes please. That would be pretty amazing. And we did have Captain Sean in Star Trek Online as well, I guess. So, right, let's look at the news here. We've got, Starfleet Academy has been renewed for a second season. Season 1 is currently in production right now. So, early renewal, but they must be very happy with it. They must be, they must have some cool stories to run with this. So they've had a live stream directly from the set of Starfleet Academy, which is pretty cool. That's where they announced that the season had been greenlit for season 2. So that is Tatiana Maslany, a very big picture of her. I'm very zoomed in here because it looks really small on your screen. Man, that's pretty much the news. That's it. She's just appearing in it. There's no other details than that. So yeah, and that was a big screen of white and it was hurting my eyes. Dark mode, please. Right, what else we got here? TJ, are these some more images for me?
So what I would love to see is for them to adapt Star Trek New Frontier, which is a series of novels where
the Mackenzie Calhoun stories.
Exactly, that was an alien captain, and I think if you could do it animated, it would be perfectly fine. We've already seen Star Trek operates completely fine in an animated format, so give me Star Trek New Frontier, people.
That would be cool. Outside of the New Frontier books, Calhoun's not really appeared. Like, there is a character, Mackenzie Calhoun does appear in Star Trek Online, but not really a character you can actually talk or interact with. Yeah. What's Seal saying? I don't know if you missed over here, but did it jump out to anyone else that Picard didn't say anything about this not being his first time? Not really. I mean, it's going to be his first live action reappearance. It's probably just different to him because it's his first live action role since the end of Voyager. I want more Bajor as well. I'm mad that we've skipped over Bajor joining the Federation, and we haven't seen any of that actually play out on screen. I hate that, 7 seasons of Deep Space Nine was building up to that, and it happens off screen. Thank you. Yeah, I'm used to shows being 10 episodes these days, and I'm okay with that because back in the 90s when there was 24 episodes a season, as a struggling ADHD adult, I can't do 24 episodes of anything. Like, I'm struggling just to get through Pokemon the anime from the beginning. Why have I decided to watch 1,000 episodes of that? That's just a bit wild. Right, we've got some more images of Lower Decks to share with you. So bear with whilst I open them. I don't know if there's any info that we've got around this. These seem to be episode 1. So I think the first episode is going to be this one with the duplicate Cerritos or the alternate Cerritos. And I think that, you know, that's backed up here where we've got multiple characters right here. So yeah, our first picture, we've got 2 Keishons with slightly different coloured uniforms. We've got a Billups in the background who looks like he's dressed as his people, you know, when they visited his family's ship. Seal, I think it's incredibly unlikely that we'll ever see the Living Witness EMH again. I don't think it's ever going to happen on screen. I think it's just going to be the regular EMH. They wouldn't bring Robert Picardo back, give it all this fanfare, just for him to turn out to be a Living Witness EMH. Yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen, unfortunately. So we've got Mariner here. We've got 2 Talins. The Talins look exactly the same. They're wearing the same headband. They've got the same insignia. Same uniform. Although maybe one of the uniforms a bit darker, one's a bit lighter. Maybe. And then Mariner is being poked with what looks like a riding crop. I mean, that's absolutely Boimler who's doing this, isn't it?
Maybe.
What do you reckon?
I don't think it might be. I want to say it might be Mariner, but I'm not sure. Like her alternate.
The skin tone on the hand doesn't match, though.
I mean, from what I'm seeing, it looks like it's darker. So
could be. It could be. I just thought that might be Boimler, actually. Okay. So what else have we got here? So we've got... They're all very shocked at something Talin has just said. What do we reckon Talin has just come out with? Oh, Alternate Mariner did have her sleeves rolled down. That is true. So what do you think Talin has just come out with?
I would love it if the alternate is like the same exact, way as the normal, and they kind of bond over the fact that they're basically the same exact person. But yeah, I don't know, because it would stand to reason that whatever alternate timeline that they come from, that the same situation led her to the Cerritos. So yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
And then we've got Captain Freeman and Commander Ransom sat at the bar doing shots of some. That is Tholian. That is some kind of Tholian beverage. Because that's either the Tholian insignia. It reminds me of the art that's in Quarks, which in beta canon is called I think that's called the Admiral, and it was like a picture of a Tholian. Oh, okay. Breaking news. The New York ComicCon panel are watching the opening scenes of Strange New Worlds Season 3, which I am very jealous about. So they are watching the Enterprise fending off attack from the Gorn while trying to figure out how to get their crew back. Interesting. High energy scene with Spock, Pike, Una, Mitchell and Uhura on deck. I love that. I love that final scene of Strange New Worlds. The final scene of that episode where Pike is literally, he's in an impossible position. Like, Una is asking him for his orders, and he's just frozen because he does not know what to do. Like, it's simple and it's effective. Really, really well done.
I mean, it's kind of somewhat evoking the best of both worlds a little bit, but not as overtly, I think.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't love Pike as much in season 2 as I loved him in season 1. I feel like there was some missteps that he made, particularly in the Klingon situation, where he could have just let his officers who'd served in the war be absent from that dinner, and everything would have been avoided that happened in that episode. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more Strange New Worlds. I do love it. It's and if at the very end of it, it's just stunning to look at. It really is a gorgeous show. I've also just noticed in here there's a Cerritos outside the window. So yeah, in this first episode, there's going to be a lot of Cerritos pulled into this reality, kind of like Mr. Worf parallels kind of thing. I think it's going to be cool. Right, bear with me, chat. I need to pull up a few new images. I will be 1 second. There we go. Look, that was quick. So we've got, first of all, where are you? There you are. We've got Pike looking absolutely flustered, but he still has the coolest hair in Starfleet, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He just has the coolest hairstyle, but the poor man looks absolutely stressed. He's going through a horrible time. We got Spock looking very concerned. As concerned as Spock can look, apparently. You've seen the Strange New Worlds clip? I will watch it later. I will watch it after stream. Una looking just glamorous and beautiful, but also very concerned. She's very much concerned for Pike and Batel and the others trapped over there. And lastly, we've got Mitchell, Una, and Pike in the captain's chair. You know, just with some wires dangling in the background. And the screen in the background says something to do with transponder data. Refining. Oh, you saw it too? I'm jealous. I want to watch it too. What are your thoughts on Strange New Worlds?
Already as if the hype couldn't have gotten any higher.
Oh, we've just had a date. Oh my god. Chat, we've got a date for the Section 31 film.
Yep.
The 24th of January 2025. That's really soon.
Yeah, just 3 months.
Less than 3 months, really. Kind of 3 months, yeah. That's insane. I was expecting like September 2025. January the 24th, 2025. That's really soon. Wow. They've smashed that out, haven't they?
Yeah, that'll be a Friday.
That's crazy. I was not expecting anything like that.
I wasn't expecting that soon either.
No, I wasn't expecting. When were you kind of thinking it was going to come out?
I was thinking like they were going to try to hold it off to the summer, but
Yeah. So that's really interesting, actually. Like, I wonder why January. Are you expecting that people will sign up to streaming services at that date? Do you just expect that they'll be at home because it's recently been Christmas? Or yeah, interesting.
yeah.
Oh,
I
Trademark.
mean,
No,
it's
we're
going to
talking about
be
Section 31. It's done very soon. It's coming very soon. I mean,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna need you to open that link and tell me what's in it because I can't. When do they usually start Strange New Worlds? Because Lower Decks usually started in August each year. That got pushed because of the strikes. Strange New Worlds, yeah, I could see March, April for Strange New Worlds. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to hold that one off to the spring, and then
Whilst we're talking about Section 31, I'm just going to put this up on the screen. Who is this? That one I can open because it's StarTrek.com. There we go. We're back. So yeah, Section 31, January 24th, 2025.
oh,
So May to June. Yeah, I can see May to June being about right. I hope June because I'm away for a bit in May and I don't want to miss it.
right.
I don't want to
Yeah,
miss it.
season 1 was May, and then season 2 was June, so it would stand to reason it probably either May, June, or July even. Because I mean, we
Oh,
also have to account for the strikes that happened.
yeah. But it seems like they've made really good progress past that now. It seems like they caught up really quickly. The delay didn't seem to have been that bad, I don't think. Much better than I expected it to be anyway. Star Trek, Star Trek's official YouTube channel has published the Strange New Worlds clip, so you'll all be able to go and watch that. We'll be posting it on trekcentral.net as well. Everything that we're talking about today will be on trekcentral.net. We'll break down all the news so that you can read about that. If you haven't done already, please do super chat us your questions. Tell us what you're looking forward to the most. Tell us your opinions on things. Are you sad? Are you as sad as I am that Lower Decks is coming to an end? If you are also interested,
Are
you
you
can.
as sad as we both are?
Yeah, that's true. You can also hit join down below to get some Trek Central emotes, but also support us being able to bring you these live streams in this format. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry, my cat's just appeared and I was just giving her strokes because she's adorable. So yeah, Section 31, January 24th, 2025. We will keep an eye out for Strange New Worlds and a date being announced. I don't see one in the Discord right now, but I will keep an eye on that. Yeah, in the absence of any other Trek to watch, I will enjoy the Section 31 movie. It's going to be fine. It's not what I really wanted all that much. It's maybe what I wanted a few years ago. It took ages to make, and now I think kind of the moment's gone on it, but I will still watch it and enjoy it regardless. So it's fine. It's fine. Some other news. Rhys Darby is going to guest star in the upcoming season of Star Trek Strange New.
That's going to be amazing.
So is he, and this is the clip they published. It seems like the only cast members they had were Ethan Peck and Carol Kane, as well as showrunners Akiva Goldsman and Henry Alonso Myers. So, who is Reese Darby?
He's a very funny actor. I've seen him in a few things.
Okay.
I think he
Oh,
usually worked with a
TJ
lot with
said.
Taika Waititi.
Oh, that's it. That's what TJ said. TJ said, in the shadows, something like that. Yeah, it's literally just this guy's going to be in the next season. That's it. No more info than that. But yeah, that's interesting. I'm sure it'll be cool. Please tell us a date for
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds. That would be lovely. Yeah, it said on there that he was in the Jumanji films. I actually haven't seen the modern Jumanji films, but people say they're pretty good.
I've
Um,
only seen the first one, I think. I don't know how many there are at this point, but I know I've seen one.
on more than me. I agree. I agree with Neo in the chat. Lower Decks has so many more stories that could be told. I agree. The possibilities for Lower Decks is endless. They could literally tell stories about
Well, I
absolutely
mean,
anything.
it would be nice if they could do something where, kind of like how they're doing with South Park, where they have, like little television movies that come out periodically.
And
And
Futurama moved into doing that as well.
yeah, so I mean, it's doable. We can keep Lower Decks going. Maybe we don't get a whole season, but we can get like a two-part episode, every so often.
I would adore that. I would absolutely adore that. Anything to keep my Lower Decks crew together. Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah, Donnie, I was kind of thinking about that. What would happen at the end of Strange New Worlds to go onwards to theoretically Kirk's Enterprise? Yeah, I do feel like they will downgrade it a little bit, but I also think they're just kind of retconning the aesthetic to have kind of been that way for Kirk's Enterprise. It's just we didn't see it through that lens necessarily. I don't want them to stick too closely to canon, because I adore the way Pike's Enterprise looks. Um, Pike's Enterprise is gorgeous. The set pieces, like their bar, is so cool. It's like modern 60s aesthetic. Like it's done incredibly well. Like it's how I imagine the original series would have looked with that kind of
Yeah.
budget and time, I think
I
it's
think my only
gorgeous.
concern at this point, though, um, I know I've heard some people discuss it. Like once we get past Strange New Worlds and Pike's story ends up being told. I mean, I've heard people talk about how you know is Pike's ultimate end, is that actually something that's set in stone, or will the series move away from it, or are we building toward a possible like reboot of the original series? And I think both of these questions deserve answers. I don't know. What do you think of that? Those two ideas.
I I think we're set in stone with Pike's fate, because the season one finale of Strange New Worlds did set out that every time Pike tried to change the future, Spock would die. So yeah, I think that is a set point in time that has to happen. If you remember the Klingon monks, they said that once you see this future, it is set in stone and cannot be changed. So yeah, Pike's future is unfortunately sealed. But every season of Strange New Worlds, or every episode we get to spend with Pike is always a gift. Getting Pike interact with Mariner and Boimler, unbelievable gift. Yes. Yeah. If this was Marvel, we'd be using the term Nexus event. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a fixed point in time. It's going to happen. And it's so sad because he's incredible, and I do not want that to happen. But I think they're about 7 years away from it. So imagine we get 6 more seasons of Strange New Worlds. I'd be so happy with that. That'd be amazing. And on the original series front, I would love a reboot of that. I would love a reimagining with stories that are far less melodramatic, far less problematic, and just absolutely beautiful. I would love a reboot because I'm really not the biggest fan of the original series. It is a product of its time, and I don't think it's a good one. Case in
Well, I mean, I
point,
love the original series, but
Spock's brain.
you know,
Nah,
well,
I
not
also
everything's
just
going to be 100%.
it's not only how bad some of the stories are, how bad some of it looks. It's just the whole 60s ego of the whole thing, particularly William Shatner. Um, the way Bill Shatner behaved back in those days was awful, and the way that he made other people suffer around him because of that, it just spoils any charm for me that the original series could have had. So I think a redo, yeah, absolutely. I agree with Pixels in chat. Thank you. I'm glad that some people agree with my controversial opinion. I'm not even lying. It's a controversial opinion. I know it.
Well, I mean,
That
what I'm
they
going to
do have
say
an
is,
opportunity to retell some episodes,
yeah.
but also just chuck some new ones in there.
I mean, I would say for me, I mean, I'm kind of one of those people who tends to not like certain elements of fan service. I would prefer if they try their best to stay away from it, or at least best they can, and instead do a reboot of the original series, but tell the stories in a way that is modern and also, accepts what we know now in modern, sort of scientific knowledge. I mean, there's a lot of original series episodes that are a little kind of wobbly on the science front, but even beyond that, um, yeah, I would love new stories told in the old format.
Yeah,
Where
I think it is
Captain Kirk is Spock,
unavoidable.
everybody.
It's unavoidable to do it without fan service. We love fan service. Um, yeah, I look back at that era of Trek, and they say it was Gene Roddenberry's ideal vision of the future, and I look at that and go, kind of glad that Gene Roddenberry was taken off Star Trek during Next Generation in that fact, because
I thought
the
you were
man
glad
had
that Gene
some,
Roddenberry's dead.
huh? Sorry,
I thought
say
you
that
were
again.
saying I'm glad Gene Roddenberry's dead.
No, I wasn't going to say that. No, but
Yeah.
I just, it's nice to have a vision of the future, but that vision of the future that was in TOS was not good, not good. But yeah, we make better stories. I personally feel these days. The original series was all about godlike alien entities. What was the Next Generation all about? Like cracked, running out of dilithium. Voyager was about losing shuttles. Yeah. Nah. I A redo would be cool. It would be cool. Or even if it carried on just being Strange New Worlds and moved into that Kirk era, which, it's gonna happen at some point.
I mean, I'm okay with the reboot, but as long as it's, I mean, the fan servicey things, as I said, they don't work for me generally, but if it's done in a way that doesn't feel like shoehorned in and it kind of works like, oh, it fits together well, then I'm more likely to accept whatever it is and then not think of it as fan service, but just as something that worked with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Murik. So his vision, fine. But then also, let's not forget, he wanted Deanna Troy in the Next Generation to be a three-boobed woman who was very sexual.
Yeah.
Let's also not
Well,
forget that.
he's also a product of his time, and
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
Yeah, exactly. But I just think about all the stories that Star Trek has told, and if they'd have stuck to that whole vision the whole time, we would never have got the Dominion War. We would never have got anything as incredible as that on screen. Could you imagine? We would never have got Lower Decks.
Yeah. I mean, these
Birth
things
of the
have to evolve. They
Federation
can't
TV
stay the same.
movie. Sorry, just catching up with chat. So Captain Archer Romulan War movie or Birth of the Federation? I think they'd be fine. I just wonder if it's too late to tell though till then. Yeah, literally, Muric. I'm so glad. Right, bear with me, chat. I'm going to pull up a poster for you. It is a Section 31 poster. There we go. Academy Award winner. You've got to put that in bold text because, you know, Michelle Yeoh. It's very yellow. They're really leaning into this yellow color scheme, aren't they?
Makes you wonder why.
She looks it's kind of like a Romulan cowboy outfit. The shoulder pads, but then it's also kind of cowgirly, I don't know. Streaming January 24th on Paramount Plus. There are some character posters coming with this as well, which is cool. Oh, yes, you're right. It's so Suicide Squaddy. Hey, Chloe, baby. Hello, darling. Sorry, I'm talking to people on the internet. That's my cat. Talking to my cat, Chloe.
Well, I believe the one thing I've heard about the Star Trek origin stories idea is that it's supposed to be set even prior to the Archer era. So I don't know what that's going to entail.
What's that? Oh,
There was some
Starfleet
discussion.
Origin.
Yeah.
I don't know if I heard that.
Yeah, I think that's what the.
Okay, right. I'm just pulling up these next graphics. So we've got some character posters. Oh, wow. There's a lot of them. Okay, right. So I know, I just remember early Enterprise and them trying to make everything exciting and it just wasn't. Right, we've got Michelle Yeoh with some kind of glitzy dagger. Very cool purple outfit. I don't know her name. Sorry. I do have the cast list around here somewhere. Right. La, 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 la. I know that we've temporarily lost Levi. This is what happens when I'm looking at things on my other screen. Okay, we don't have the cast list there. That's fine. Anyway. Oh yeah, Riemann's a good shout. Riemann is a good shout. That kind of looks like is this one a Delton? You know, from Star Trek the Motion Picture?
Yeah, I think that's
Gotta be a Delton.
Yeah.
There's Sam Richardson as the Cameloid. Yeah, definitely Delton. And who else did we see with Deltons? Soji from Star Trek Picard, right? I don't know who that is. It's a smiling Vulcan. I don't know who he is. Looks like an extra from the Alien films. Oh, I didn't look too closely at that. I really don't know what this outfit is meant to be. It's a weird. It's weird, and I don't think it's good weird. Like, what have they dressed Sam Richardson in? Good night, Neo. Thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Check out all the news as well that we're going to publish on trekcentral.net. Everything that we're talking about here will be on there very soon. Is that Common? Is that his name? He's like a rapper and actor. He was in Silo on Apple TV.
Yeah.
It is Common because I was looking at these screenshots in the Discord and I was like, is that Common? Because I didn't have the cast list for the Section 31 film. Because
I don't have it with me
in Silo, this guy cannot act. he's terrible at acting. He's a cool guy though. He's cool, so I hope he's better in this than he was in Silo.
I guess we'll have to see.
We will have to see. Oh, Amari Hardwick. Okay, so it's not Common.
Yeah.
That's fine. That name rings a bell.
Now.
That name rings a bell. Sorry, you're going to disappear for a sec, Levi, whilst I just look at the other screen. Yeah, because I don't have a cast list here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the Common thing is what got me curious. But
yeah, the only thing I've ever seen him in was Silo. It looks like, yeah, he does look like Common, doesn't he? He does look like Common.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's not just me who thinks that. Common is a very attractive man as well, by the way. Wouldn't, yeah. I only saw the first Kick-Ass. Didn't see the other. Right, so we don't know who. I don't know who this guy. I know that we've got them listed elsewhere. The Delton looks so cool though. Like that is a way to rock a look, honestly. Nailing the look there.
Yeah.
Right, keeping an eye. Anything else? Right, so what haven't we heard about yet? We haven't had a release date for season 3 Strange New Worlds, but there has been a clip. They usually do that a few months before they go to announce a date. So I think we are looking at June for Strange New Worlds, and we'll get the date dropped in January. I think they're rush. Well, they want to get Section 31 out as a first priority after Lower Decks. Is there anything else that we haven't heard about yet that you would love to hear about?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would love to hear, something involved with what the situation is with the Star Trek movies. I mean, it feels like they're constantly shopping them around like different streaming platforms, and that's getting kind of annoying. But I'd prefer. I mean, I do have them on physical copies, so I can't really complain that much. But still,
just checking in on that. Oh, that's interesting, Murik. So IMDb is giving out that they have Vardwar, Zindi. Interesting. We haven't had any Zindi since Enterprise, but we have had them mentioned in Lower Decks. But Vardwar is an interesting one because how long were they missing from the Delta Squadron? Was it hundreds of years?
something like that.
Interesting. Maybe it's a rogue Vardar who escaped cryostasis or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting, right. Bear with chat. You're gonna miss us for a second whilst I pull this up. Now the question is, where did I put it? Ah, there it is. It's that one. So this is all of the cast together. Ah, so the Vardar were missing for 900 years. That's crazy. But it does make sense for a race that were that prominent 900 years the prior, that they all wouldn't be in one location. There must have been a few of them elsewhere around somewhere. Yeah, I think that is going to be Rachel Garrett in the middle. Yeah. Yeah, I only had the new castings written down. I didn't have the regular cast. Oh, the Zindi reptilians were in season 1 of Prodigy. I forgot about that. I don't remember a lot about season 1. Right. Season 2 is fantastic.
Yeah. I really liked finishing up Prodigy. Sad that, I mean, I would love to see a season 3 of Prodigy, but
I would also love to see a season 3 of Prodigy. That would be amazing. But Star Trek have really distanced themselves from that. I think if anybody's going to announce that there's going to be a new series, it'd be Netflix that do that. Or the Hageman brothers themselves. So the Vulcan guy, I think he's going to be Vulcan, because Romulans tend to have a little bit of a greener twinge to their skin. Usually, you can tell there's just a bit more makeup on them. I think he's going to be a Vulcan who's in touch with his emotions. Maybe a member of Cybok's cult. Who knows?
I think that might be a bit early for that, but
yeah, maybe. We don't know. Well, I mean, we don't know how long they were around for. We know that Cybok is around in Strange New Worlds. We saw them in season 1. We haven't seen them since. So we know they're around. And he's in an institution for not being like other Vulcans. So yeah, could be, or maybe it's just an emotional Vulcan, nothing special, you know. I think all of these characters are going to be interesting and special in their own little way. Right. I think all of the news that is going to break has broken. You can catch all of it on trekcentral.net, so make sure that you head over there. Keep an eye on all of the news that we break down. We're going to get it all over there super fast. Some of it's probably already up there. So if you haven't done already, check out our Twitter, the Trek Central, also trekcentral.net for the news about Trek. If you were at New York ComicCon and have anything to share with us that we don't know about yet, please do tag us. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. I think we've got 2 more articles about Lower Decks to come. We've got Tendi and Rutherford to break down ahead of season 5. Season 5 of Lower Decks starts on Thursday with a 2-episode premiere, which I'm excited for. Can't wait to see Lower Decks. It is my absolute favorite. If you would like to become a member of the channel, hit the join button down below and you will get Trek Central emotes, and you'll also help us produce these live stream breakdowns for you. And we'd love to do more of these, so your support makes that possible. Right, that's us done. Commodore Levi, sir, where can people find you on the internet land?
Well, oddly enough, outside Discord, I'm known as Fleet Admiral Levi on the YouTubes. And so if you guys want to, catch me there, we talk sci-fi, fantasy, and horror. This month is horror month, so if you want to have fun with us, you're more than welcome to join. But yeah, thank you.
And I joined one of the Star Trek discussions a few weeks ago as well.
Glad you did.
I was there for, and that was fun. You can find me on Twitch at Get Mic'd. I play a lot of Pokemon. I play a lot of indie games. I play a lot of weird stuff. But it's spooky season, so I'm doing a lot of that right now. You can catch me on social medias at Get Mic'd OW. I love talking about Trek. I love talking about nerdy stuff. So I would love to talk with you all more about that. We are also, a lot of us, not everybody, unfortunately, but quite a few of us from Trek Central will be at MCM ComicCon next weekend. So we hope to see you there. We have a Star Trek panel at 11 a.m. on the Saturday. Hope to see loads of you there. I will be there in my brand new Starfleet uniform, which I'm loving, by the way. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing time. We're also hosting an evening event. So check out our social media for that, because all the details are on there. It's going to be amazing. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight and talking Trek. We hope you have a rest of your we hope you have an amazing rest of the weekend, and we'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye, everyone.